A few ways that I help keep my lines cleaner and maintain steadiness while doing lines. So here I'm going in this circular motion here as kind of a warm-up, because I'm going to do a line. I'm going to pull a line as a circle, and that's just to warm up the muscle memory. When I get that muscle memory going before you pull the line, just warm up your arm and get it to remember the motion you need to do to pull the line comfortably. So right here I'm just showing you guys me pulling the line, going in that consistent circle. Now obviously on real skin you're not going to go over it this many times, but I'm just showing you here how this practice can help you maintain the consistency that you need to make clean lines. Another thing I want to point out that often isn't talked about is holding your breath. Taking a deep breath before you pull a line is very helpful to remove shakiness while pulling lines. So this has been one of the most beneficial things that was often overlooked, I feel like. Now I'm going to show you another stabilization trick. I take my pinky out, as I mentioned in another video, and I'm going to use that as like a kickstand, and then I'm going to press my ring finger against my thumb and use that to stabilize each other and drag slowly while I'm pulling my lines. And this will be very helpful when you're working in small areas and you just need that extra bit of sturdiness. Now another way I use my mag is to pack small areas with black. The technique is fairly simple. What you're going to be doing is packing the area the same way you would do color packing or packing an area of the skin with black, like you do with the mag, but you're just doing it with the round liner, so it's giving you that tighter configuration, which is allowing you to work in smaller areas and not go outside the lines or the parameters that you're aiming to do. Things to be sure of is that you're going in a continuous motion and not staying in the same spot for long periods of time, and also your needle depth, of course, because this is still a liner and it requires a lot less pressure to puncture the skin deeper than a mag would, or a larger mag per se. So cleaning up edges with your liner, if you do realism, then this one is going to be really helpful for you. So I take my liner and I just kind of do the pendulum shading technique, or just kind of swipe at the edge, and the liner can get a certain level of sharpness that it's much more difficult to get with your mag. So that's what I like to use my mag for, is just to clean up those edges. And if I really want to define something, this is what you can use your liner for. You don't want to pull the line and make a solid line. What you want to kind of do is fan it in and slowly work towards sharpening up the edge to your preference. Now what I'm going to show you is the difference in your voltage and how it affects what your tattoo looks like. Now hand motion one thing, but voltage is another, and mixing between the differences in voltage and hand motion will affect the difference in what your tattoo looks like. So I'm going to show you guys an example. Right now we're starting off on 5.5 volts, and I'm just going to use the stipple and shading method, just flicking outwards from a singular point. Now, as you guys can see here, the stippling effect is relatively light, and with the dots being pretty decent space from each other, we're going to go over to 6.5 volts now to see the difference. So repeating the process, we're going to do the stipple shading, flicking outwards, and now I'm going to show you guys exactly how much different it looks with that different voltage. Not a big difference, but you can kind of see it here. Now we're going to go over to 7.5 volts, so up one more volt, and we're going to repeat that process again for the third time. And you guys will see the difference here after only a couple of flicks and about the same amount of time. The difference, see, this one's a bit darker. We can go over it a couple of more flicks just so we can see that difference more. You can see the dots are a lot closer together, and this will be a lot easier to pack an area with this type of voltage. Now we're going to go up to 8.5. I don't usually work on this voltage, but I know there are people who like higher voltages. So just to show you guys an example, I'm also speeding up my hand motion a bit. This one's pretty fast. You can see the dots here very close together. That starting point is very dark, a lot darker than the other areas. For me personally, I felt like it almost made me work faster with this type of voltage. So I had them all marked here, the 5.5, the 6.5, the 7.5, and the 8.5. So you can see all the differences here. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.